Hi everyone, this is the Northern Lights podcast for Star Wars Day, May the 4th. May the 4th be with you.
May the 4th be with you too.
So we're just going to jump right in with our names and our favourite Star Wars characters and least favourite. So Josh?
Okay, I'm Josh, and favourite Star Wars character would probably be, not just going off the films, but General Grievous. Massive Grievous fan. But least favourite character is kind of controversial. I'm not a massive fan of Yoda in the originals. Just annoys the hell out of me.
Which one, the puppet one or CGI?
Puppet one. Not a massive puppet fan.
A little bit too kooky.
Yeah.
Well, because he doesn't look alive.
I think that's the issue. He looks a little bit too alive. I'm not sure where he's going to stop.
Wow, hating on the Jedi Master.
You were rooting for R2-D2 when they were fighting.
I really was. I was just hoping, can you get rid of this little green rat thing?
You did his laugh there.
I'm Jordan. My favourite character is definitely Han Solo, because he doesn't need any of that Jedi magicness.
I think he is a Jedi.
I think you're wrong. I think that's what's cool about him. He's self-reliant. He doesn't need any of that. Least favourite character, I think you inspired me before. The battle droids from the prequels. They're just
but
the addition of those really supposedly funny lines, especially in episode 3. No, I think that's horrendous.
Are we all in agreement though that it's Jar Jar for everyone?
Yeah. I was just trying to.
yeah.
We're not allowed to choose Jar Jar because
That's fair enough.
Goes
That's
without
too
saying.
mainstream.
Hello, I'm Matthew Rowe, and I suppose my favourite character is Darth Maul, a bad guy. I suppose, is that unpopular to choose the bad guy?
No, not at all.
No.
I like him because he's just an excellent fighter.
So wasted in that film.
I know.
Oh, massively.
Such a waste.
He was an excellent fighter, and then he just got killed so badly.
Yeah.
Where
It was a waste.
his reactions were like spot on all throughout that, and then Obi-Wan just kind of slowly jumps over him, and he's watching him going, what? And then he gets chopped in half, and then he just pathetically falls down this pit to nowhere. And, all right, I suppose that's the end of the best character in this film.
It's one of those plot armor things, isn't it? Where just because a character's more relevant to the plot, he always wins.
Yeah,
He was made just to die.
Yeah.
pretty much. Least favourite?
Least favourite, as you said, obviously Jar Jar, and you've said the battle droids with the forced comedy. They're not supposed to have. They're not supposed to be sentient or anything, are they? They're supposed to be intimidating and emotionless. They're all supposed to be one in the same. So, well, as I said, intimidating. But I've got a list from episode 1. So there's Jar Jar. There's the guy on the bridge of the Federation starship, the guy that pilots it with the stuff on his face that makes him sound like a machine.
One of the multitude of racist characters in that film.
There's the two-headed announcer from the pod race. I didn't get that guy.
Oh, that was weird.
There's Watto and Boss Nass. The thing about
Boss Nass.
because everyone I think was afraid of George Lucas. No one would go against his ideas.
He
So
was the
they're
true
like-
Sith Lord.
It's just two. Yeah, I could just imagine two guys in a meeting room going, "John, do you want to mention something to George about this? I think it's a really bad idea." It's like, I don't know. George comes in and goes, "What are you talking about, guys?" It's, "Oh, no, nothing, George. We just think the idea of Boss Nass spitting on everyone every time he talks is a great idea. You should definitely keep that in, George." So everyone was just afraid to say no to him and reel him in. So he ran riot with all these terrible characters.
Yeah, he did make sure he had complete creative control over the prequels. I think that's definitely one of the ways that
So he
fell
could drop
short.
in most of these characters have lazy racial stereotypes, by the way, which is
Watto.
cringy.
Right, I'm Paul. My favourite character? You know what? This is going to be controversial. But, at the moment, it's Kylo Ren.
Get out.
I think he's fantastically written. I think he has more depth, and honestly, and I've said this, and this is the really controversial part, and I'm going to get some serious hate for this. I think if they keep up the level of writing for him and the character development that they've had in the first one for the rest of the trilogy, it'll be better than Vader. Break it down. Let me just explain that, please. In the 3 films that Vader exists, because we're not counting Sith,
I am.
Does he get
It's a great
any
film.
character development in New Hope?
He doesn't need it. He's there to be a menace.
So's Kylo Ren, but he still gets development.
He's
Vader gets no development. He doesn't get any development for 90% of Empire, and then you get the big twist, which, spoilers, if you don't know that already. And then he gets a little bit at the end, but it is a little bit presto changeo, deathbed repentance.
That's because he wants to go to Jedi heaven and be a Force ghost.
I don't need character development for my already developed Sith
What I'm
Lords
saying
though.
is he's a paper-thin character, really.
Well, that is where
I love Vader. Love me some Vader.
that is where there was potential in the prequels to make him more three-dimensional,
Oh, we'll
and
get to
they
that.
fell short with that.
They managed to give him less dimensions.
So-
He was already 2D.
I think they wanted to make him like Vader so much that he's actually following Anakin in maybe episode 2 and 3, where he just comes across as an annoying, angsty teen that hates his dad.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because my least favourite character is prequel Anakin.
Which prequel Anakin?
Oh, they're both. Although, if I wasn't talking about that, I'd say the leech on George Lucas's brain that convinced him that the musical scene in Return of the Jedi was a good idea. Because that's just hateful. Everyone involved in that. But Anakin, he's so whiny. And I know it's an obvious statement, everyone has said it, but I just don't care. I genuinely don't. Like in the first one, when he's the little kid, I just wanted his pod to crash. I want Sebulba to win.
You can understand him though as a kid, but as he grows up, as I said, he's like a bit of an angsty teen. But was that a tool to help us hate him?
I don't know, because I think the idea is you're supposed to at least still be in awe of him. You're supposed to be in awe of Vader, and I was never in awe of Anakin. I just didn't.
You always knew he had this underlying dark side, really, because you always knew that his dad was arguably like, was it Sidious or Plagueis?
Yeah, it was the Force person.
You always knew he had the potential to be the bad guy, and obviously all the way through we always knew he would end up being the bad guy. So you were thinking, could he turn at any point and get really nasty? I suppose like they tried to do with when he went and saved his mum and killed all the Tusken Raiders.
Or killing the kids.
Yeah, well, yeah, that was the worst point.
I think that if they had more time, I think they needed more time to develop Anakin, especially with such a huge time gap between Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones. So much happens, and
We
then
just don't see it.
yeah, you just don't see it. Even between 2 and 3, the time jump is just horrendous.
I just think he's so badly written, and I just don't care. Like I've said before, I think the guy had an impossible task, but he's not a good actor.
Right in the upbringing to arguably the
exactly.
the best
you've got to
villain
write the build
ever.
up to the biggest villain in cinema history. You can't do it justice. That being said, he still sucks.
It wasn't as bad in Revenge of the Sith.
He's still pretty hateful.
Well,
and not in the way that you should hate him. Like, he can't deliver anything. The point where he's really struggling, like Windu's about to strike down Palpatine, he's like, no, I need him. And just like, no, you need to sit in a corner and think about what you've done.
Yeah,
Dunce's hat on.
Yeah.
the immense internal struggle. You don't get Hayden Christensen to
I think it's
even
because everybody
attempt
just
that.
loves Samuel L. Jackson, and they're like, oh, well, you've just made me lose interest in this film.
Exactly. So yeah, I'm not a fan.
Maybe that was another tool to help us hate him more. It's like, whoa, what? You can't kill Samuel L. Jackson in an underhanded way like that. You really are a bad guy.
Underhanded.
Is that a pun?
When he lost his
Yeah, I
hand.
suppose it is.
So yeah, I don't like Anakin Skywalker.
One.
So next we're going to talk about our favourite pieces of merch. I'm sure we've all got plenty.
Yeah, well, for me, I've got a couple. At home, I have a master replicas, the proper, like, really detailed version of Mace Windu's lightsaber. Mine doesn't have the famous quote from another Samuel L. Jackson film on it, like Mace Windu's did, but it is ridiculously detailed, and it looks so fantastic, and the noise when you switch it, I love it.
Have you ever hit anyone with it?
Yes, my dad. He did not care for it. And my other is just a little piece. It's a one of the Funko Pops is of what I like to call Casual Akbar from Force Awakens. As he just looks so casual, so relaxed, like, oh, it might be a trap, might not be.
He's just shaking his head at you.
Yeah, his little bobblehead is now agreeing with me.
He just says it's not a trap. It's something to be aware of.
Yeah, just keep it in mind.
He's even got his sleeves rolled up and everything.
Yeah.
His buttons are undone.
It's not a trap.
He's just hit the
relax,
cantina,
man.
you know. He's loving life.
Yeah, he's had a bit of a break. Don't really want to come back yet. I love Casual Akbar.
My favourite piece of merchandise, I've got a massive book of concept art that I could never have brought in. It's huge. But I love the concept art. It's really interesting to see how a lot of the original trilogy concept art ended up being adapted into the prequel series as well. But I've also got a Funko here of Han Solo, which won't mean much to many people, but he is quite rare and quite expensive.
He's
not as casual as Akbar, but
it's the classic Han, not the Force Awakens weathered Han, I believe.
He's so not casual that he's got his gun up.
Yeah.
He's expecting trouble.
Yep.
My merchandise includes I'm wearing a t-shirt because it's a nice sunny day in Sunderland, which is a bit strange because Sunderland. I've got a t-shirt of Chewbacca at the beach. The Chewbacca with shades on, holding up a surfboard there. You can imagine when he gets wet, he must weigh 10 times more.
You think how bad a wet dog smells?
Yeah. Oh no.
And I spun out.
I don't think Han won't let him on the ship for a good few weeks.
I've played so many Star Wars games in my time. I've got one here, Star Wars Episode 1 Racer for N64. Remember when games used to come in a box?
Those were the days.
I'm impressed some people kept the boxes.
I know, it's got the manual as well. I'll just show you the manual. Manuals, they don't do this these days. It's just
glorious.
a sheet telling you to go to a website. It's a massive book.
That's fantastic.
With languages I've never heard of in it. Another piece of merch I've brought is a Star Wars poster in like a World War II propaganda-esque poster. It's fitting, as soon as Rogue One's about to come out. There's a guy in an X-Wing with his thumbs up saying, "Let's go, wings for victory." I like that. There's another piece of Star Wars merchandise which I'd like to get in the future. You've probably seen it, guys. It's a Star Wars fridge. And it's the front is Han Solo in carbonite. If you forget about that in the night and you go for a little drink, you turn the light on, that's scary to death.
Freaky doggo as well.
Paul?
Mine is a little bit depressing because there's two. One of them I no longer own, and one I don't own yet, but I will. The one I no longer own is when I was still living down in London. I had on video, the last versions of the original trilogy ever released. No cuts, nothing. Beautiful collector's set, gorgeous. Fairly sure they were worth a bomb, but moving up here, didn't bring that stuff with me, and I'm fairly certain it's been lost to the ravages of time, which breaks my heart.
That's unacceptable.
I know, it's painful. It really is.
Maybe your dad's got them.
I doubt that. The one I don't own yet, and I had the opportunity to buy it, but I kept convincing myself I don't need it, is out in Disney World, which I'm going back to. There isn't a place where you can build your own lightsaber. Like
what?
You choose the hilt, whether you want double-ended, you can have a curved one, the colour of the blade.
Are you finally becoming a fan of Disney?
I don't like Disney, but I will go for the lightsaber.
That is an excellent service.
$40 or $50 if you want a double-edged one, and you can even have different colours on a double-edged one. So you can have.
You know what? That's still cheaper than a lot of.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's cheaper than mine.
I can imagine they'd do that, so a lot of kids would go that, and then there's lots of dads going, move that other way. So.
Yeah,
There's
definitely.
loads of kids, which is one of the reasons I didn't do it, because I didn't want to be this grown man queuing up against next to loads of 9 and 10-year-olds building a lightsaber.
Disney should realise
potential.
Guys, they should offer like a session where all nostalgic old
all the
guys
dads
should come along.
And my wife kept trying to talk me out of it, and I let her. But this time, no, I'm coming back.
Why? Because she knew you'd probably spend about 4 hours there.
No, but this one.
The perfect lightsaber.
If I go with that one. Oh, but the style of that one. Oh, but the grip on that one.
What colour would you go for?
I'm torn. I've always liked the red ones. I know they're evil, but I do. But I do like the purple as well.
Yeah, purple all the way. definitely.
I would have said purple as
But
well.
unless I can get the engraving, it's just not the same.
You get the engraving. You get that
I
engraving.
don't think it's a service they offer.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think Disney
Or
World are going to do
I
that.
could just go all out, get a double-edged one, have red on one side and purple on the other.
Oh, best of both worlds.
And then I'm just rocking it.
Oh yeah.
It's, you know,
Some people might think, oh, it looks a bit broken there. Light's gotten a bit dodgy on that end.
well, they won't.
And then you hit them with it.
And then I hit them in the face, and all is well. So yeah, I will own that by the end of September, guaranteed.
That is a promise, ladies and gentlemen.
We wanted to talk about the films. Do we want to go in order of the prequels first, or
I'd
the
say
order of how we watched
I'd say
it?
go 1 to 7.
Right, let's start with episode 1 then.
Well, High Points is done.
No.
High points, the duel at the end.
Duel at the
Yes,
end is pretty good. It again still flawed, but it at least is a point I care about in that movie,
And it gave us Duel of Fates, the music.
I was just going to
Yes.
say Duel
which is
of
probably the
Definitely.
best thing to come out of the Phantom Menace.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It's amazing.
Because you were always worried that John Williams might have been a bit past it, he won't be able to deliver again. But
Yeah.
that score was excellent.
That's the one thing. Force Awakens score isn't very good.
Did he do that?
Yeah.
I thought he was dead.
No, he's still going. There's
I was
nothing-
surprised to hear that John Williams was doing it when I was sure about 5 years ago he died.
No, he's
That's
still
only
going.
because they killed him in Family Guy.
That could have been. That could have been it
Now
actually.
we've got Danny Elfman.
No, I think you're right though. There's no standout tracks in Force
I
Awakens.
still think it's a nice score. Like when I've watched it back recently, but there's nothing in it that makes me.
No, there's nothing
wow.
epic.
Yeah.
Darth Maul could have been fleshed out a bit more, I think.
I think he should be the villain for the trilogy.
Yeah,
I really do.
he was wasted.
I think that's one thing the originals did have, and that the new trilogy
I
will have.
think the issue there was because they wanted like him to not speak very much, and they wanted lots of dialogue.
that didn't stop Vader.
No, but you did have Vader spoke more than Maul.
Yeah.
Maul had about one line.
I don't
And that was
understand why
it.
they didn't want him to speak, because they had so many characters in the prequels that shouldn't have spoken.
Well, yeah,
And then
exactly.
Peter Serafinovich, he was a great voice actor.
Yeah.
He's a great voice actor.
Well, they didn't want Ray Park because Cockney Sith Lord just isn't doing it for anyone.
I don't know. That would be the scariest thing I've ever heard.
Ray Park's a Glaswegian.
I mean, is he?
Yeah.
Oh well, even worse then. I take that back. That would have been terrifying.
No, the
Ewan McGregor versus Ray Park there, but Scottish off.
Why did I think he was Cockney?
the story behind Darth Maul though is he's supposed to be the silent assassin. He's not supposed to talk. He was, according to the Darth Plagueis novel, he was never meant to be a Sith Lord. He was just a go-between before he discovered Count Dooku. But when you can only go off the films, it just feels like such a waste.
It does, because he's a really cool character. I remember when I first saw the trailer for Phantom Menace when it first came out back in '99. I'm like, my God, there's this dude with a double-ended lightsaber who looks like the devil. Well, he's going to be awesome.
Yep.
Why did they
For
call
about
it the
70.
Phantom Menace anyway? 'Cause if most of the angle was politics in space, they should have
Because
called
the
it.
idea,
Because that sounds like a terrible title. Politics in
the film
space.
was terrible.
I think the idea is you only ever saw Palpatine really as a hologram. Like, I know you had like one or two scenes, but on the whole, he is a phantom. Like he's the evil elsewhere.
Yeah.
Even though anyone who's seen the prequels, the originals, knows what's going on. But I think, and if we're talking about bad titles, they're to come.
Well, speaking of the order in which we'll watch them, do you think it's sad that a lot of people will now watch them 1, 2, 3, then
Yeah,
4,
I
and
do.
they won't understand why the twist.
Like, people have said to me, what order should I watch them in? And I've said, have you seen them before? And if they say no, I'm like, watch 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3. Otherwise, the big moment is lost on you.
Yeah.
If you've seen them, then watch them in order. You go 1 to 7, that makes sense.
Hopefully, it'd give some people some credit if they watch 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5, 6, and go, oh, what's all this about? You do realise you can tell by watching this that they're 30, 40 years apart.
Yeah.
Right.
I suppose if they watch it that way, they only get better as well.
They do, yes. They definitely.
If you can struggle through, because I can't recommend 1, 2, and 3 to anyone who hasn't seen Star Wars before.
No, like no.
I can recommend scenes.
I
This
could
is-
Yeah,
recommend.
scenes.
I could recommend
think
Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah, like
Definitely.
for me, my order of them is Empire's the best. I personally really like New Hope. And
Are we
Force
doing this already? The ranking of the films?
Are we?
Yeah, let's go for it.
I would say so. Empire's the best, which I'm sure most people would agree. Personally, New Hope and Force Awakens are quite level for me because they're very similar films. But I've really enjoyed Force Awakens. Like, it's flawed, but I like it. Then I'd say Sith ahead of Jedi. I think Sith is a better movie than Jedi. So I can recommend Sith and then Clones and Phantom Menace. Clones isn't as bad as I remember. Phantom Menace is a travesty to cinema.
Yeah, I completely agree, but sadly you need Clones and Phantom Menace to
Well, of course
explain.
you need a proper story.
Shall we move on to Clones?
Can do. The amazing middle part
tactfully
of
move over Jar Jar Binks, who we could rant about for
Yeah,
there's not
literally
enough
hours.
time.
it's best to just leave him out of this podcast.
How do you all feel about sand?
Not a fan. Not a fan.
Quite
No,
coarse.
It is. And
unlike you, Paul, you're smooth.
Baby's born.
calm down. Calm down.
That
Shall I start with the high points of episode 2?
Yeah.
For me, the Jedi rescue.
Yeah.
When they rescue Anakin and Padme from
Yeah.
almost certain death, and they just drop in. I think
I
that's,
still
that's
think
really
that
cool.
plan is flawed, though. We'll
Yeah,
drop
'cause-
into an arena surrounded by people with guns.
yeah, how did they not
numbers.
notice them coming in earlier? as
Yeah.
well? It's like everyone's field of vision was where the camera was. If they just thought, oh, what's all this coming
Yeah,
up?
so much for Count Dooku being able to sense literally anything,
Except for
or just looking upwards.
have you seen the behind the scenes footage of that scene where it's literally just a bunch of people just literally hitting at nothing? I know they've got to do it for CG's sake, but it looks hilarious when there's
a chicken and a guy raven. He's just got glow sticks dancing around.
It's funny you say that. I just remembered the video I saw online of the techno goth rave. I just imagine.
Oh,
that
yeah.
being it.
Put Jill in the face over there.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think the Jedi Rescue's cool. I think there's some decent stuff.
I quite like the Obi-Wan and Django stuff.
Yeah, I
When-
think the I agree.
I felt
That's
that
really
there was
good.
genuine threat to that fight
Yeah,
because every time one of them would get a leg up on the other one, that something would happen.
but it was one of the rare occasions you actually sort of fear ever so slightly for Obi-Wan,
Oh yeah, yeah.
even though you know he probably isn't going to die.
Yeah.
But adding to the list of wasted characters, Django Fett,
Yeah.
so wasted.
A moment of silence.
I don't know. At least he got a better death than his dad.
Yeah.
His dad
Let's not
died
talk
in a
about that.
slapstick,
His
Laurel and Hardy
his dad
death
became
with a
bird
Wilhelm scream.
and a burp. He becomes a burp.
Oh yeah.
Was that burp in the original cut?
I don't think so. It's
Because
No,
the
it
beak wasn't.
It's George Lucas
Yeah.
playing the lowest common denominator again.
He needs someone to hold him back. I think this is going to become a recurring
Well, that's the
theme.
thing. Now they've held him back so much they've kicked him out of his own company.
Yeah, he was quite annoyed about that
Yeah.
towards the end
I've
because
got
he.
these ideas. We're going to go in a different direction.
Yeah.
If you don't mind. For all the hate you've given Force Awakens, that was the right move.
Sorry, George. Any other high points in episode 2?
I like the taxi chase.
Yes, no, that's good.
I like that, and I even like. There's the little joke is, do you want to buy some death sticks? You don't want some death sticks. You want to go home and rethink your life. I think that's funny. It's clearly he's talking about cigarettes, which is fine.
Of course.
Yeah.
But it made me chuckle.
No, it is.
works.
It's good. It's a much improved film on Phantom Menace.
It's strange. First time I saw it in the cinema, I hated it. I was so bored. I came out thinking, that's one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life.
I think it does get too much hate.
It came out on DVD, and I'm like, right, I'll give it another chance. And watching it again, I'm like, actually, this is alright. It's not great.
It gets hate through association. That's
Oh.
literally it.
A redeeming feature of it, Slave 1. You get to see Slave
Yes.
1.
Oh yes.
I love
You can
that.
see Slave One.
As I said this in a video before, it has car alarm of death lasers where it's just rattling them off. And obviously, Obi-Wan survives, but just to see that thing like raining down, and then it has those seismic charges, which are they're just cruel.
One other thing, just because I'm a fan, Christopher Lee just gets to be awesome and fights
Yeah.
Yoda.
Yeah, no, that was
Yoda
an
fighting
epic
is a
fight.
little bit ridiculous.
Yeah. Just a little bit.
He goes from like crippled, weathered old man to a like bouncy muppet.
So I was impressed by these two old fellas.
Yeah.
Like,
But like, I was buzzing to see that. Everyone wanted to see Yoda fight, and to fight Christopher Lee is pretty cool.
It is the first appearance of CG Yoda as well.
It is. Technically, now they've gone
can
back
you
and changed
imagine
it.
them trying to do that with a puppet?
Frank Oz just dancing around.
That is a fight we all want to see.
The low points are very prevalent in Attack of the Clones. Hayden Christensen's
middle
lines,
half. It is
the lines where he's literally implies that he's watching Padme over the cameras and making her feel uncomfortable at the start of the film.
He's creeping on her.
The
Yeah,
romantic
literally.
Stuff, all of the romantic stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
None
I've
of it
got
works.
that.
Was not handled very well at all.
In my notes, I've got romantic stuff and Anakin hates sand.
It's a point we all had to know that Anakin dislikes sand. Where was Obi-Wan's pet hate? We never got to know.
I think he hated the little braid he wore, the Padawan braid.
Yeah.
Oh no, we know he hates flying in space.
Oh yeah. But that was appropriate at the time.
That's more appropriate because he's being shot at and
Yeah.
blown up in
Yeah.
space, whereas Anakin, sand, it's so
Just
coarse and
avoid
rough,
the
innit?
beach.
It gets
It
everywhere.
gets in your shoes, mix in your
Even though if
sandwiches.
that's all you've known, you'd think that you'd grow to not mind it.
In fact, the minute he gets cold, if he'd have said, I hate the cold of deep space, I'm like, fair enough.
Yeah.
I get that a bit more. You've grown up in heat.
I'm just going to jump to Kylo Ren here, where he keeps Darth Vader's helmet in like a tub of sand.
It's actually ash. You know what they came
Is
out
it
with?
ash?
Yeah.
The
Oh, I
ash
thought it was-
is they mention it in one of the special features on the Blu-ray. That's one thing. The DVD doesn't get them. People not happy.
I'm not happy about that personally.
I think it's ridiculous they do
Yeah.
in America. But anyway, the ash is the ash of his falling enemies.
Who's falling enemies?
Kylo Ren's enemies. He has the bodies destroyed. And
So,
then
right.
puts his helmet in their ash.
Wow.
This
That's
is my major problem with Force Awakens, what we don't see. So he took the time to kill all the Jedi at this new academy and get them all turned into ash. What is Luke doing at this point?
It's on his brain.
Even if he's even if he's on his break, it lasts long enough for him to get all of the
I love
Jedi
the concept.
cremated.
He's just sat there with a mugshot. It's like, nope, not me.
Nah, it's 15 minutes, mate.
They'll all be dead. Well, it'll be a quiet afternoon. I agree, but this is the stuff that will get explained. You can't give it all in the first film. You were reintroducing the franchise. You can't do everything.
Well, we'll come back to that, I'm sure.
The romantic stuff is awful in
Episode 2.
Attack of the
So
Clones.
disappointing
3.
because the Leia-Han relationship is literally
Yeah.
my favourite film relationship.
But I
it
think
was
what
just
carries
handled.
that off is two things. One, I think they were allowed to change the lines a lot. Like Harrison Ford himself was very kind of negative about the script, and also his cockiness. It works. Anakin has no character for you to
No.
get behind. You care about Han's cockiness because he just makes it work.
I think it also helps that George Lucas didn't direct 4 and 5 and 6,
Yeah.
so there was someone there to go, no, that needs to change, needs to be a bit more
Yeah.
realistic.
Some people had the audacity, not the audacity, I mean, they would rightfully so, challenge George a bit,
Yeah,
which is what he needed in the
Yeah.
prequels.
so we're lucky that he almost worked himself to death on A New Hope, otherwise he would never have let anyone else.
That's also
Control
dark,
his
but
baby.
I agree. Episode 3, high points?
I don't mind.
I
don't mind episode 3. As I said, I think there's again flaws. Again, Hayden Christensen's awful.
Yeah.
Padme dies of a broken heart.
To be fair, it's
I
probably...
did say high points,
But I think there's some good stuff. I think the
Yeah.
final duel is good, although very overly choreographed.
It has 3 solid fights.
It
3
does.
solid fights.
The
Grievous fight is fantastic.
Grievous fight's fantastic.
The ending is disappointing for me.
The rescue at the start is cool, like the battle in space.
The thing about Grievous, he was pretty intimidating as well, and then that kind of went downhill as soon as he started walking like a spider. I was like, that's not
Yeah,
scary.
that was a bit weird.
It reminds me of a deleted scene from Alien. They got rid of it because it made the alien look not scary at all, and that it crawls backwards on its arms and legs, and you're like, wow, this scary thing suddenly doesn't look scary anymore.
Yeah.
It's that same effect.
The mishandling of Grievous is a huge sin, I think, because George Lucas said he wanted to make Grievous like a Bond villain, where it would be all talk, and then push come to shove, you'll run away. But having Grievous who's a huge cyborg who has killed Jedi in the past, it doesn't fit with who the character is, which is why in the animated series, for example, he's handled so much better.
Yes.
Where he's a terrifying, literally just a killing machine.
They also explain in the animated series why he has the hacky cough as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Mace Windu
Force crushed
at the end of the Battle of Coruscant, Force crushed his chest. which, why on earth would you leave that out of the film?
See, I always thought that, like, there's a robot with a cough.
Yeah.
This is odd.
Well, he's like Vader. He's mostly machine, but there's a bit of him that's still human. But the bit of him that's still human is bust like.
Yeah, it is the Vader practice sort of thing. But no, he's brilliant in that. Wow, I enjoyed the Grievous parts. It's just it was so wasted, so wasted.
Another wasted character.
Exactly. Add it to the list.
Has it got a Game of Thrones effect? Oh, this is a good character. Dead.
Yeah.
Don't get behind anyone.
Yep, exactly. Christopher Lee, Count Dooku, very wasted.
But that's the thing, like the Jar Jar Sith theory. If it was legit, I don't think Christopher Lee would have been in that.
No, I wouldn't.
He gets no explanation. He just gets dropped in. If Jar Jar was the big evil, which is ridiculous to talk about.
This is the recurring problem with George Lucas. He has brilliant ideas, but he doesn't let people rein him in. And he cannot expand on his own characters.
No.
Christopher Lee's Count Dooku is a brilliant character if you read the book, watch the TV series, and read some comic books. Because other people said, right, we've got a really weak character here, we need to expand him. And George Lucas just let him be a two-dimensional character for the sake of, let's just pass the time before Anakin.
It is, especially in Episode 3, Christopher Lee's Count Dooku was simply there to be killed off straight away.
Oh yeah.
And it was...
He's a plot device, nothing more.
If they were just going to do that, they might as well have killed him at the end of... Have Yoda beat him at the end of Episode 2. Because...
I always feel he was a little bit dumb there. When Palpatine says,
do it,
kill him. Like, at least say, Master, why? Because then there'd be, like, people would be like,
yeah.
might clock a bit
I think his
sooner.
dedication to the cause, he thought his death wasn't worth giving away the bigger plan.
Yeah, I thought you were right though. He was kept alive as a plot device, just so Anakin could be forced to kill him by Palpatine saying, "Do it." That's an issue I have with Episode 3. Palpatine, he did come across. Well, he got more mad, didn't he?
Yeah.
Where he's like, "Do it," and he was laughing at Yoda all crazy like, and then
and the facial expressions
and
during
like, no.
during the fight with Mace Windu, the facial expressions.
No.
I don't know who was in charge of his choreography, but they must have taken a day off.
He is honestly though one of my favourite things about the entire prequel trilogy because he's clearly having so much fun.
Yeah. No.
And especially in Revenge of the Sith, he's like, I'm going full pant over them.
Yeah.
Like,
It's brilliant.
He turns it up to 11.
He's finally got his chance to actually move around.
Yeah.
His character's just spent so much time with his hood up.
When I watched them all back recently, I was just like, I've never noticed how much fun he's clearly having with it. It's just like, it's great.
Did you describe him as Panto?
Oh, he goes in number
Where's
3.
Mace Windu? He's behind you.
In number 3, he's pure Panto villain. Like, it's so over the top, but it's great. He's chewing the scenery, and you just gotta love it.
How did he explain it to the rest of the Senate why he looked really, really sort of wrinkly?
He actually says it was the attack by the Jedi, which is leaving hideously scarred man.
I think he just said he's just stopped using his wrinkle cream.
Yeah.
I tried to open the microwave with my face.
And then the Jedi attacked.
Episode 3 low points.
What we've said.
I think, as we say, a bit of overacting, wasted characters.
As I said before, the droids with
Yeah.
their forced comedy when they should have just been battle droids and not Laurel and Hardy.
It's probably a little too long as well. You could trim 20 minutes from that film.
That said, though, we don't see enough of the Clone Wars. You don't understand. You never see.
Had in mind that whole series.
The whole series, which is now not canon, and replaced by the
I actually think that is. I'm sure I've heard them say
the first one that we were talking about before, the one that was made by the same people as Samurai Jack's not canon anymore.
No, but like
So there is no canon explanation as to why Grievous is coughing.
the CG. Yeah, but doesn't that ever get explained? I've not seen the CG ones. Does it not?
Yeah, it doesn't get explained in that.
Does that need explaining in the films though?
Why is
assume
coughing?
there's going to be a story there. I mean, if all the films had to be explained, there'd be loads of prequels and origins films to come out, which I suppose Disney is doing. But then again, they're not going to make them canon. But that's a discussion for later.
Well, why not replace Phantom Menace with a slightly earlier Clone Wars, Attack of the Clones, sorry, and then have that extra film as the actual Clone Wars, and all of the development happens there.
You could have the entire prequel thing based around the Clone Wars.
Yeah, it could start At Phantom Menace.
You could just read it, like, you know, he says himself in A New Hope, when I first met your father, he was already a great pilot. Just have that. Have him as a pilot. Don't have him as a kid.
Yeah, because you would have that time to expand on the
Of course
characters.
he would. But, no, this is us delving almost into fan fiction territory.
Which is essentially what the old canon is.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh god.
New Hope? New Hope's a great film.
New Hope is a fantastic film.
I feel like Josh will disagree.
I enjoy it. It's just after coming off all the action, well choreographed fights of the prequels, I just get a little bit bored in places.
You're asking a bit much of elderly Obi-Wan there.
Oh,
It was
I
the
know.
first film though, so it was
Yeah.
pretty much a context.
Yeah,
building
I get
film.
that.
I think George Lucas took a lot of inspiration from samurais as well.
Yeah.
Oh,
And with samurai fights, it is minimalist. There's not much jumping around and
look
making a
at
fool of
Vader's
yourself.
helmet, it's pure samurai.
Yeah.
And I've seen a fair point is these are two old guys that are knocking
Oh,
on.
yeah.
They can't, well, they're not. Well, I said that, but then we said earlier, Count Dooku and Yoda. They were
Yeah,
jumping
that
around like
fight
crazy.
was a little extreme.
Count Dooku
for
did
all
have
of
the aid of computer graphics though.
Oh, true.
us. And Yoda didn't. Yoda was all there.
Oh yeah, he's sprightly.
So, personal high points from the film.
Oh,
That's no moon. It's a space station. I love that. That every single time. It just makes me smile.
that's another robot chicken thing. That's no moon. It's your mother.
Oh, the young mama concept.
Yeah.
I know.
My high point is Leia giving sass to Tarkin. It's such a perfect way of setting up her character. It's just completely fearless. Because even Tarkin, who is set up as a character who takes no nonsense, even from Vader, just has nothing to say to that.
My favourite thing from that is something that never gets seen in the films and only you know about if you read about it. Any scenes where you don't see Tarkin's feet, he's wearing slippers. I love that.
Oh,
And the boots are
that though.
The boots are uncomfortable.
And you
so
don't,
he's
and where
walking-
you don't see his hand, he's got a pipe on screen and a cut, and
he's just walking around in fluffy slippers, and I just love that image. Just fearless general fluffy slippers. And in my head, they're pink bunny ones. Like that just
Yes.
I'm sure that would take the immersion out for the other actors.
My lord, oh, what the hell is that?
My high point in A New Hope is, I suppose, like the TIE fighter attack on the Millennium Falcon, and then they just
That's a good bit.
blow those guys up. It takes them a while to shoot 4 TIE fighters, but
Yeah.
I suppose just
And
it
that
is a good-
looped
it is
bit
a
of
good-
the TIE fighter getting closer,
Yeah.
and then it's getting closer again, and then it's getting closer again.
Well, why not?
Death Star runs pretty cool as
Wow,
well.
yeah, obviously.
Yeah, Death Star run's cool. Everything that involves those tiny miniature models, which I can't respect the team enough for how much practical effect they put into the original trilogy. I know they had to because of the times, but the fact that every little TIE fighter actually existed, every X-Wing actually existed.
Didn't they make the surface of the Death Star out of, like, you know, those Airfix models or something?
Yeah, tiny, and
loads
there's
of those
these
kits.
cameras zoomed right in, which is fantastic. And then stop motion as well. They were
I bet they
ahead of
felt
the
terrible
time.
having to blow it up. Some guy put loads of effort into that.
Mm.
Why are you blowing it up?
Superstar Destroyer that crashes into it. When you see the little mini sort of effects of them doing that, it
Yeah.
just looks so cute and pathetic.
Is that a bit of a dig there at A New Hope?
Yeah, a little bit.
Slight low
Slight
point. I was
try.
struggling to find low
I can't
points.
think of any low points. Really.
A low point was, I know it was relevant for the story, but Aunt and Uncle Lars, where they were just incinerated and you can see the skeleton smouldering there.
yeah.
You're like, whoa,
That
It's
turned dark
overkill,
real
really, isn't
quick.
it?
dark.
That's-
I feel like Obi-Wan had a hand in that. Just really wanted to get Luke off the planet. It's like, damn it, how do we get him to leave? Just burn his house down.
Why didn't he just do that years ago then? If you wanted,
Because he got comfortable, he got old, got a comfy
Training
chair.
the Qui-Gon
Yeah.
and the ideas of becoming a Force ghost. That's a bad thing with Sith. Everything gets wrapped up very, very neatly. Erase that droid's memory. Not the other one, but that one.
Yeah.
Because R2 can't speak, no one can understand him.
And no one knows what he's saying. Except everyone.
Everyone now.
A low point of A New Hope is, again, George Lucas is meddling. He needs to realise when he's got something perfect, you don't mess around with it. I watched a video on YouTube, all the different cuts and things that they added to it, And
Shot first.
who shot first? The introduction to Mos Eisley, where the CG animals and all kinds of things added in the background. It doesn't add anything to the scene, and it takes you out of it completely.
He just like glossed over it with a bit of episode 1, like let's just cartoonify Mos Eisley. No, don't do that.
I will say though,
Jar Jar?
If he'd have been in there,
I would not have put it past him.
I'm glad that they did CG Jabba the Hutt though, because he was originally just a very large guy, which would have looked horrendous in Return of the Jedi when Leia strangles him.
Oh god, yeah.
So I think that they did right by Jabba, but other than that, it's just completely
one awkward
unnecessary.
thing about them doing Jabba in CGI is when Han walks behind him. Obviously, he didn't walk over a tail when he was a guy.
So they had to
they had to like lift him up.
Yeah,
they
took a still, didn't they, and like moved it a little bit.
It's one thing I really want to get. Has anyone heard of these despecialized editions?
I've heard that Disney wants to re-release them.
It's not that at the moment Disney doesn't have the rights, so they can't do anything. Although I'm sure once they get the rights, they will. Some dude on the internet took it upon himself to make Blu-ray quality versions, so like HD remasters of the original cuts.
I'd love to watch that.
Made them available for download. Now I don't know where copyright stands on that, and I'm not encouraging people to be pirates, but he made it that you could download them, put them on a Blu-ray disc. There's cases and everything, and apparently they look pristine. They're like 35 gig download for each film, but it's HD.
Somewhere out there, George Lucas is shedding a tear. He sheds a tear every time someone talks about original cuts.
He sheds a tear every time someone talks about the holiday special.
But then don't we all? Don't we all?
No, we're not mentioning that.
I tried watching it once.
Yeah,
I've got
the entire thing's on YouTube, and I did watch it, and
it's amazing.
it lives up to expectations, shall we say?
Beat whisk, beat whisk, beat whisk. It's so bad.
It was the fact that they had an Oliver Twist-esque musical scene in the cantina, where the cantina's being shut down by the Empire, and they just have like a one last drink sort of musical moment. It just felt like Oliver Twist, just like all the aliens are dancing. Of course, the bootleg, like low budget, even lower budget than A New Hope versions of the aliens as well. So they just look horrendous.
But were they all like Cockney puppets, just having a drink and a sing song?
Yeah.
Empire Strikes Back.
Oh, I don't even know if there is low points in Empire. I love it.
It is
with
my
the high
favourite.
points.
High points, everything. I think the reveal's amazing at the end, especially if you don't know it's coming. I think it really works. I think the duel between Luke and Vader is fantastic because I think there's really high stakes to it.
Yeah.
Everything on Hoth is phenomenal.
That's a great start.
It's when you actually feel like the rebels are completely outnumbered, completely outgunned.
Yeah. That's it. That's the first time, because they destroyed the Death Star, and they're on a high, but now they're on the run and they are really behind.
An interesting thing about the AC-80s, they're commanded by it's General Veers, isn't it? You kind of want him to do good, because he gets promoted after the other guy's failure, the Admiral's failure.
Yeah.
So he gets killed, and then he's like, "You're in command now." And you're like, "Oh, I hope this guy does good." Just for his sake. So you kind of want both sides to do good.
Yeah, it reminds me of another joke from Robot Chicken, the one where Vader doesn't actually strangle them; they just pretend to be strangled to keep them happy, and then they come back with a mustache and pretend.
7 times.
Speaking of the AT-ATs, though, that stop motion ahead of its time, and it looks amazing even now. Looks brilliant. So convincing.
Because of they're supposed to move very mechanically and in sort of steps rather than just fluently, and the stop motion works perfectly for that.
It's really good. It's really odd to say it's very sci-fi and futuristic to have pretty much walking tanks. You thought they'd hovered or be on wheels, but it wouldn't have been as epic if they weren't walking, because because they're walking, they look alive almost.
It's very
menacing of scale and just strength.
Plus, even though they're so slow,
that
the moment they get within shooting range, everything will be destroyed.
Yeah. That makes it more scary, because they're just mincing along.
And then to destroy the base,
foreboding.
It was like 2 shots, and they destroyed the entire Echo base.
I'm really struggling for a low point.
Honestly,
I've got a weird point. At the end, when Lando's on the Millennium Falcon with Chewie, why is he wearing Han's clothes?
that's Return of the Jedi. That's when they did it.
No. It's when they pick Luke up.
Yeah, and they
After
leave
he
him
falls.
at the little hospital thing. He's got his new hand.
Yeah,
I always think...
as the flyaway.
Yeah.
yeah.
This is the bit where they're asking us to just be a bit smart and just say, well, maybe, I don't know, maybe
He's
he's in the
the
Millennium
new
Falcon. There's a wardrobe. It's only got.
It's got one outfit.
It's got one outfit times 10. Lando's. He might be playing chess with Chewbacca. He spills a drink on himself. Oh no, I'll change the clothes. He goes to the Han's wardrobe. Oh, it's the same costume. I'll just put this on. Might have been that. I don't know. Or it might have been a mess up in costume design.
It might have been a. Let's try and put the whole betrayal thing behind us, guys. And
Yeah.
I'm gonna put Han's clothes on. Please
actually
forgive me.
even further with the betrayal.
He's trying to steal his life.
Yeah.
Clothes, steal his ship, and he wants his woman.
I've got a kind of low point, but it's so relevant for the story. So Han in Carbonite, C-3PO gets carved up, Luke loses his hands. So a lot of bad stuff is happening to our heroes, but it's Empire Strikes Back. It's supposed to show the
That's one thing
suffering
they
of the heroes.
Talk about in Clerks, there's a question about like, which is better, Empire or Jedi, and Dante says Empire because it ends on such a down note, and life is a series of down notes. His words, not mine, but I like it. Like,
Very
everything. Generally, films have such happy endings, especially Star Wars. So it was nice to have something that was just like, oh well, that sucked.
And because it leads into Jedi, unlike A New Hope, which was originally probably planned as just a single film,
Yeah.
and it has a nice wrapped up conclusion.
Yeah, we won.
Empire has very much what the hell's going to happen next.
Well, it's a counter conclusion. It's like, oh, you hit us, we're going to hit you.
Yeah.
Harder.
It does give a general sense of danger as well,
Exactly.
seeing just how powerful these people are.
Yeah, definitely.
Whereas A New Hope didn't really, like, literally one squadron destroys the Death Star
Yeah.
in A New Hope.
Guy who's never flown an X-wing before
Yeah.
destroyed it.
Well,
Well, he's shot a lot of Womp-Rats though.
Well,
so-
they did kind of show that they were a bit of a force to be reckoned with, blowing up a planet.
yeah.
But one squadron taken out.
Jar Jar was probably on that planet. It's a good thing.
It's just a good point there. Or maybe the Death Star. Maybe he designed it with like a hole that if you shot at it, it'd blow up.
Oh dear.
Jedi, high points.
The
So-
Emperor.
The
This is the
Emperor's
first
fantastic. You've got
sort
to
of-
love Palpatine.
He finally does something, and it's just like, oh, this is so cool. I remember seeing that for the first time. I was like, yes, he's finally done it, and he just looks like a deranged wizard.
Yeah.
Because you thought Darth Vader was the ultimate bad guy, and then comes in his boss, and he's even more of a bad guy. And he's
I like it. I think ultimately, it's not going to happen, but I think they tease Luke turning
Yeah.
quite well. Like that final 10, 15, 20 minutes, I think it's really well done.
Oh
Really
yeah,
is.
no, exactly. I'm trying to think.
There's some
Jedi.
good stuff in there.
Yeah, it's a decent conclusion.
The Death
If
Star
you-
run is very similar, but I think it works.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed actually seeing huge ships do battle, because before then it was lots of little ships, which is great, but seeing just huge scale battles where literally they threw everything that they had
Yeah.
into this last fight.
Low points. Are we just going to say Ewoks?
Let's just
Yeah.
say Ewoks.
I love about Ewoks though. How many times are they called Ewoks in that film?
I don't think they've
They're
mentioned.
never called Ewoks. That is the power of marketing. Well done, George.
I think have you seen Spaced with
Yeah,
Simon Pegg?
years
I think
ago.
it's in that. Simon Pegg says, it's our fault that Jar Jar was created because we bought into Ewoks."
Yeah.
And
Oh.
George Lucas was just trying to create another fun little thing that he can sell millions of toys out
Got
of.
like 2 or 3 Ewok spin-off films.
Oh my
Jar Jar
goodness.
spin-off films.
at least some got killed though.
They
To
do.
be a bit dark there.
They
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
Some of them do get blown up.
That one Ewok that died.
Wicket lives though. Wicket lives forever.
I like
Hashtag
that.
Wicket lives.
actor Jordan, isn't it?
Which one?
Warwick Davis.
We're not talking about Warwick Davis.
I much like the part where C-3PO becomes God for a brief moment.
Oh no, I
That's
couldn't.
good.
What, you mean the part where they're
But then he
going
goes,
to eat them?
ooh.
The part where they're going to eat them.
Yeah, and then
Which also explains, at the end, that guy's playing drums on a lot of helmets and there's no bodies around.
Yeah.
I think there was a feast.
Also, who braided Leia's hair?
Oh, that's wicked.
So they have no like concept of like
If you had that much
humanish
fur.
culture, but they can braid hair.
That's how it works. They eat humans, but they braid hair.
They have a weird culture.
Well, braiding hair is not rocket science, is it?
No,
I wouldn't have a clue where to start, to be
They,
honest.
they've got enough of hair, so.
You can't braid
They must
that
have
much. Like, that'd be like me trying to braid this now. Like, I ain't getting very far.
Well, that's because all the ones that you see in the film, they've all had a haircut, but some of them.
There are some.
hairline.
They're all basically just short Chewbaccas.
all,
There are
all,
some really shaggy
all
ones.
that thing off Adam's family,
Oh my god.
cousin it.
And I'm speaking of things that would be extremely heavy in the rain.
Oh yeah,
God, imagine how they smell during the thunderstorm as well.
just see,
And there's been loads of them. I think there's only one Chewbacca.
you see loads of piles of them.
More of them should have died though, at the risk of being extremely morbid. It should have been a one-sided
It's like-
fight.
When I first saw Jedi as a kid, I loved
Oh,
the
yeah.
Ewoks. They were great. And it's only when you grow up now you're like, I care less about you.
What is the what are the stormtroopers' armor actually made out of? Because
Balsa wood?
I think it's paper mache. Because
I think
rocks and
they get,
spears
like-
just.
I'm still certain
Polystyrene
stormtroopers only
rocks
get like
at
an
last.
hour of weapons training, and most of that is picking the right gun. I'm not even sure they're told to hold
Is
it
it made
right
of the
way.
same armour as Boba Fett's armour?
No.
It can't because Boba Fett
No.
took a bit of a beating.
Yeah.
The stormtroopers, like
It's a
fly.
case of there's so many stormtroopers, they've just got to go cheap. You just got to spread out the
It
load.
is plastic armour.
Yeah.
I was looking at replica stormtrooper costumes, and then almost £1,000.
Oh my goodness.
And they would fall apart.
That's probably more than the Empire paid for them.
Yeah, they probably buy them
Yeah.
in bulk and get them for 20 quid each.
Just don't trip on a twig or you'll
Don't
be
sit down
killed
too fast.
horribly.
I've got a low point of Jedi. I said it before. Boba Fett dies pathetically.
Oh, it's such
Unfitting.
a
It's
waste.
awful. That whole Sarlacc bit's pretty. That
And
seems good.
to add insult to injury or death, they give him a Wilhelm scream, don't they?
Oh yeah.
Don't get me started on Wilhelm screams.
But apparently he survived the Sarlacc pit.
There's
Yeah, he did. He survived in what is now Legends,
Yeah.
which is now not canon. So at this point, he's dead.
But I wouldn't be surprised because they're doing a Boba film. No, they could just.
Are
focus
they
on
doing
the
a
plot.
Boba film? Was that
Yeah,
confirmed?
apparently the next one's Rogue One, the anthology. Then the second anthology film's Solo, and then the third one's apparently going to be Boba.
If
I wouldn't be surprised if they did show something at the end of him surviving.
yeah, I wouldn't. I don't want to get my hopes up because Disney's got a track record with Marvel Cinematic Universe of saying we're going to do these things like 10 years down the line, and then they've just got to drop them because people's interest wanes. They're just
I don't
they're
think
not
it's
as
just a
invested
Wayne
as
in
the.
Boba. Like comparing Boba
No,
to
if
something
you-
they dropped like the Inhumans is a little bit unfair.
Yeah.
Boba Fett is loved despite
Boba
not
Fett-
doing
But
anything.
but if they leave him dead until this point, people aren't going to care. People are going to forget.
I don't know. I think people will. I know what you're saying.
Unless they have
Yeah.
hints in some of the other films,
Yeah.
like
It's-
just even if it's references, maybe in Rogue One.
Just see a
to be
slave
fair.
one flyby.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
but speaking of, do we need a Han Solo film?
No, probably not.
I really don't
But
think we do.
When you pay $4 billion for a franchise, you are getting your money back.
I'm guessing if there's a Han Solo film, it's going to be like just some, some tales. Like, so it's going to be Indiana Jones
It'll be
in
free
space,
New
or
Hope.
something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
It'll
supposed to
probably,
be him
they'll,
as a
they'll like
kid.
a good start, so it'll be how he became a smuggler.
Yeah.
They'll do a nice little tragic story. His parents will probably be killed by a smuggler, and then he'll become a smuggler.
How he meets Chewbacca.
How he meets
Yeah,
Chewbacca, that'll be it. Chewbacca killed his parents. Confirmed.
He ripped their arms out.
Because they
That's
beat
how
him
he
in
knows.
chess. And Han just accepted it.
And the whole time we didn't realise Chewie was just holding Han hostage throughout the entire original trilogy.
That makes those films very different if you watch them now.
It's the other Robot Chicken thing where Han takes Chewie home and opens the door and all of Chewbacca's family are wearing clothes. It's like, so you've been
Maybe
naked
that's
the
why
whole time.
Kylo Ren hates his parents, because Han did. It's like, oh, I hate my mum and dad. Chewbacca comes along, rips their arms out, and he's like, cool, man, let's be friends.
So Chewbacca's the true Sith Lord.
Darth Chewie.
Confirmed.
Sorry, low point with Jedi. It's that musical number. The dance
Oh,
musical thing
yeah.
in Jabba's palace
He's cringy. I can't watch that with my parents.
should be burned with fire. Like it,
Just
you
like
get
Darth Vader.
music in the original cut. That's fine. It's like the cantina scene. I haven't got an issue with it. But the actual dance scene with
Yeah.
that hideous pair of lips on legs
Oh,
is it's so bad.
One thing about Jabba's palace is, as was mentioned in cartoonish characters in episode 1, there is a cartoonish character in Jabba's palace. That Bib Fortuna guy, you know, the guy with big flesh.
Twi'lek.
And yeah, one of the funny thing he says that it's obviously in a different language, but it sounds like he's asking Jabba if you want a wanga. What do you mean?
We'll close the club early, Jabba.
I don't think anyone's supposed to laugh at that, but I found that funny.
What's that little rat thing that just does that really high pitched laugh?
Snookles.
Oh god, I hate that so much.
What, the one that
Salacious
eats
Crumb.
Jabba's tail?
Yes. Just it. Oh.
So you enjoyed it when R2 zapped it?
Yes.
Excellent.
Because that was the only decent thing R2 probably did in the entire original trilogy.
Force Awakens.
I think Force Awakens is great. I have 2 issues with it. One, the joke at the start does not work. Where Poe's on the floor in front of Kylo Ren, he's like, "Oh, should you talk first? Do I talk first?" It doesn't work.
No, it completely demeans Kylo Ren right from the
Kylo Ren has
start.
just wiped out a village essentially, and Poe Dameron's so cocky. I get he's cocky.
He's supposed to be the new
that
Han.
Doesn't work, and I like Poe's
I suppose
character.
Kylo Ren doesn't respond to that.
Even he thinks he's stupid. If I was Kylo Ren, I'd just give him a slap, not kill him. Well, no.
Or you should just punch him after he said that.
But that's an issue, and I had one other, and I can't remember what it is.
The characters from the raid.
Oh yeah, there's the characters. There's people in it from the Raid, which is like Raid and the Raid 2. If you've not seen them, watch them. They're the best action films ever made.
Yeah.
They're in it. They don't fight. What a waste.
Yeah,
When I heard they were cast in it, I'm like, I actually had heard they were going to be part of the Knights of Ren. I'm like, Knights of Ren.
Are these the guys on the just before they get the Millennium? The Kanji Club.
Yeah.
Kanji
Do you know what I thought when they said Kanji Club? I was like, Culture Club? Are they fighting Boy George in space? What's happening?
Is it that would have been a twist?
Yeah, but why go to the trouble of casting very
I think it was just
actors who've been in a very specific Indonesian martial arts film, and then have them say like 2 lines and then not do any martial
The main guy
arts?
from the Raid doesn't even talk
Yeah.
in it at all. He just stands there and looks pretty.
But why
There
do
are
that?
a few actors in that, like Simon Pegg. I did not know Simon Pegg was in that film.
It's funny watching it back. You recognise his voice, and
I
more
don't.
so Daniel Craig.
We recognise Daniel Craig
Daniel
the second
Craig.
time.
I didn't know it until I heard it.
Yeah,
Until
yeah.
someone told me. I watched it back and I'm like, how did I not clock that to
Was Simon Pegg the portions guy?
Uncar Plot, yes. That's his name?
Right.
Uncar Plot?
I would have
I
never
think-
guessed that.
Quarter portion.
If nobody'd have told me that, and if I hadn't Googled it, I would have never known.
You know who
Ever.
Daniel Craig is in it, don't you?
The Stormtrooper.
And
His
now
mind
with my
tricks.
gun.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
It's such a waste though, because he could have been a cool guy in it.
No, because originally I think he just wanted a cameo. I heard he was going to be a stormtrooper. I thought he was going to be in like the kind of First Order Nazi-ish rally at the start, where they just pan across.
Or they could have had a daring, more of an Easter egg thing if they were running through Starkiller and they run past a corridor and they just see him as James Bond. And just for like a few frames.
There's a circle
Yeah.
door that sort of has jagged edges, and he just sort of kneels down and points
wet
a gun.
red paint.
Yep. He's just the decorator, and he's just spilt all his paint.
He's got a paintbrush, not a gun.
Or that him and Poe are having a game of blackjack or something.
Yeah, that would work. But no, I really liked Force Awakens. I think there's some great stuff in there. I think the fight at the end's fantastic because it's not overly choreographed. It just looks like 2 people who legitimately just want to kill each other.
Another high point in The Force Awakens, the Millennium Falcon reveal.
That's fantastic. I think everyone in the cinema knew what was going to happen when she says that, but you're just like...
That was my favourite part of that film. The fact that she would rather have got another ship because it just looks like such a hunk of junk.
It was tactically done. As you said, you kind of knew when she
Yeah.
said garbage, but she said it really casually and really well. And then, the garbage will do.
That said, though, there was a lot of low points.
Yes.
Speaking of wasted characters, Captain Phasma.
Oh, that was terrible.
Poor Gwendolyn Christie was so happy and excited about her character, and the amount of marketing that was put behind her as well. She's one of the biggest characters on every poster that I've seen, the one I've got as well. And she was in it. You could probably tally it up to about 2 minutes. She had barely any speaking lines, and when she was in it, she was thrown down a garbage chute.
It was very much, there was a lot of mystery behind who this character was. It could have been really good. And there was no explanation, no use, just thrown down a
Again,
garbage chute.
wasted casting because they chose to cast Gwendolyn Christie, because she's fantastic in Game of Thrones, because she fights. She's a very physical actress.
Oh.
So when she has a physical presence, she is terrifying. But she did literally nothing.
You can't do it all in one film. Force Awakens was to establish the main characters: Finn, Rey, Kylo Ren.
Why
That's
have her in then?
Because she has an element to play, and I think going forward she will have a bigger part.
She
Don't
could.
get me wrong, she's underused, but a lot of the characters are in it. I'd like to see more of Poe.
The way I see it though is, if you took A New Hope, exactly the same, and then at the end, Darth Vader trips over on his way to fight.
It's not
I feel like it's the same as that, because then for the rest of the films you wouldn't see Darth Vader as threatening.
As I've said before, yeah, they mentioned throwing her down the trash compactor. You don't see it happen. It could just be a throwaway comment for them being kind of smarmy and confident. You never see it happen.
But
it's very possible they just tied her up.
Even if that didn't happen, she gave up incredibly easily.
She's got 3 guns aimed at her.
She's got 3 guns aimed at her, but she is the leader of the First Order, who are fanatical in their own right. So being one of the top figures.
What do they all do when they realise Starkiller Base is going to be destroyed? They run away.
So you thought
She's
she was?
willing to fight another day, like they all do.
You thought she
How
should
did
have
she
pulled
get out
something out of the bag, or at least?
I think she should have refused, even if that meant her dying. I think that would have.
I honestly think they are. I think the First Order is filled with cowards. I think they run when they know the odds are against them. So
Do you feel that they're a legitimate threat then, if they're full of cowards?
They destroyed an entire star system. I'm willing to give them the bet that they're a legitimate threat.
But their massive super weapon is now destroyed.
You don't know what else they've got planned.
Well,
An
that's
even
what-
bigger
bigger one.
Starkiller Base.
if that's what the Empire was as well, though. It's like they've got a lot of like toys
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
throw at you. They've got a lot of like stuff behind them. So does it really matter if they are cowards? Because they've just got a lot of men and they'll throw them at you. And
Yeah, no, but the leaders, Tarkin, Vader, Palpatine, aren't supposed to flinch at anything. That's why they are
So
terrifying.
you have, with that, I don't understand. You had an issue with Hux as well, then. Because Hux runs away, and I think Hux has done really well. I think again he's another one who's wasted.
Was he the
He's
ginger
Weasley.
guy?
Yeah, the evil Weasley.
Oh no, he was just a bit pathetic.
Oh, I like him.
I liked the go between him and Kylo Ren, because it was
Yeah.
indicative of
Yeah.
A New Hope, where Vader he's a lackey, essentially.
I think it works, but I think these characters will be expanded on. I think the next one will be a lot darker, and you'll see a lot more of these characters.
So they'll develop. The bad guys will get badder in a way. Hopefully.
Because like,
But
you've already seen that Rey and Finn are forces for good. That's it. You can't really do a whole lot more there. And Ren's had a fair bit of development. I think he'll get more.
Yeah.
But I think the next one is all about building up the First Order as a legitimate threat.
But back to Phasma, how could you take her seriously now that you know that she's not fanatical enough to take a blaster bolt
But none
for her
of them are.
cause?
That's the point. They all ran. None of them are fanatical enough. The last thing Hux does is he goes and talks to that giant Snoke hologram. He's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna get Ren and get out of here. You know, we good. I'll find you." Like, none of them are fanatical enough. That's the thing. They're all following his ideology, but really, when the going gets tough, they all legged it.
Do you agree though that the excessive use of merchandising for Captain Phasma was not legitimate at all?
Oh, yeah.
She was made to sell the film, and toys,
Of course, but
toys,
that's
figures,
Star Wars.
posters.
Is she officially dead, or will she make?
No,
she'll
she's
still-
back. She did survive.
She'll definitely be
Yeah,
back.
she survived.
That is one thing. Like, when that planet explodes, they get people quick.
Mm.
Like, Kylo Ren is laying in the middle of a forest. They get him quickly before that.
I would
thing
say that's a weakness, to be honest.
Yes.
I understand. I think you could have added like another minute just to the wait, and I'd be like more believing it. But yeah, I think it does exactly what it needed to do. I think it sets up the sequel trilogy going forward, and I came out of it and watching it again recently like, yep.
It was
psyched
too
for that.
easy though. It was just, well, how do we just make the original trilogy into one nice compact little film? Because that's all it was. It was 4, 5 and 6 basically crammed into one.
My main criticism is that
Horrible
it's
monster.
so safe. I understand why J.J. Abrams was terrified of messing up the franchise, so he wanted to go for a safe, easy option of, it's what you've seen before, guys, you can't knock it, because you've said
Yeah,
it's
but I
brilliant.
think it's more
You
than
can't
that.
knock nostalgia. It's
Yeah, well, it's a film that the marketing was based off nostalgia, and the entire selling point is nostalgia. That was one of the reasons why George Lucas was annoyed, because he didn't think they were going to make a nostalgia film. His argument was, as flawed as the prequels are, he was always on top of the trends at the time. If you think back to the first time you saw Attack of the Clones, we laugh at the CG in that now, but at the time that was cutting edge. He was constantly pushing boundaries.
The first film shot fully on digital.
Yeah, you're just constantly pushing boundaries, and to go from that to a very safe.
I think there's more to it. I honestly think that they've played it a little bit safe because they've got to set this up going forward. I honestly think the next one will be this trilogy's Empire, but I think it's gonna be really dark. I really do, and then I think they'll end with a massive, like a huge finale.
What would you do if there's just a bigger Starkiller base?
Which probably
I think I personally didn't have an issue with Starkiller Base. I know people were like, oh, it's just a big.
If it's a one-use thing, I don't mind.
I thought it was a genuinely cool concept. Like, okay, we've wiped out a planet. How about we wipe out an entire system? I get that. That is genuinely terrifying. I agree though that doing it again would be weak.
Yeah.
It would be, but from their point of view, well, we had this awesome weapon. Let's make it again.
Yeah.
It's a whole planet. How on earth did they manage to create a weapon that big in an entire planet, and the Alliance just had no idea?
Because
Space
the
is
Alliance
big.
are on the run. I think that's the idea.
No. Force Awakens. The Republic is powerful. It is the major power in the
It's just a
universe.
switch.
And the
roles.
story that the novel goes into is that the Republic aren't supposed to have a military because of what happened with the Empire. They don't want another empire to be born. So the rebel, there's essentially a rebel sect, which is what Poe and all the X-Wings are, who they're funded by the Republic but not publicly.
Officially.
Yeah. But even so, they would notice. Being the major power, they would keep an eye on the remnants of the Empire, and they'd go, there seems to be a lot of activity going on in this massive planet. Could it be a massive super laser?
I don't know, mate. Well, space is massive, and maybe they silenced people or turned people or got caught. I don't know.
I think people who have had issues with Force Awakens for these issues should just see how it plays out.
Yeah.
I know you could have said the same thing about the prequels, but that's good.
While I'm talking about Starkiller Base, though, they dropped the ball by shooting planets that we don't know. All those planets that were destroyed, we had no emotional connection to. If they just had dropped a line saying that was Coruscant amongst all the planets that were destroyed, then I understand it's no longer the capital of the Republic and all that, but just dropping a name and just saying like
knows.
I didn't care. I honestly didn't care. All these planets, it was just so easy. It just happened. Just like,
I didn't care about people dying, but I cared about. I was invested in the fact that okay, this is a legitimate threat now.
Yeah.
Like it really is. Like you haven't just wiped out one planet; you've wiped out multiple ones. So you have turned evil up further.
I know a planet they could have killed and everyone would have cared.
Naboo.
Kashyyyk.
Yes.
Can't kill the Wookiees, man.
Yeah.
Blow up Naboo. Then you've got rid of the Gungans. They're all gone.
Finally.
Yeah, but
They're in Tatooine,
Naboo is
they're
a
not
terrible planet anyway because a blockade in space what made that planet suffer and they were starving. I mean, you're on a planet, it's self-sufficient.
My issue with that is the blockade was a ring. just go up.
huge flaw with episode 1. Actually, you've just reminded me. The Senate says, right, we'll send people to see if this blockade truly is doing what you say it's doing, and she goes, no, just send military help. She says no to someone going and verifying what she's saying. She's so unconstructive in how it's handled. One of the many flaws with Phantom Menace.
But I think we're done with films. At great length.
It's because you're losing the argument, that's why.
It's like that, is it?
No, I could go on, but Force Awakens, yeah, it was a good way to set up a new trilogy, I guess. As long as...
I'd like to see your
It
review
needs
once
to get
the trilogy's
stronger.
done.
Yeah,
I'd
as
love to
long
see
as the next one's not as safe and it
Yeah.
actually does
I don't think
something
it- I actually don't
unique.
think it will.
So you're pleased with this safe setup so long as the next one is dark and
Yeah.
dangerous.
See,
Yeah,
I
not even
genuinely
dark,
think
just
the next
unique, something new, bring
I
something new
think
to
the
the
next one
table.
will be dark. I think it will be edgy. I think it will. I wouldn't. Don't be surprised now. I do think it'll end on a down note. I think it'll do what Empire does. I think it has to.
Maybe
yeah, they
they'll
are
blow
just-
up Kashyyyk and Endor.
And Naboo.
I think everybody would cheer most of them though.
The green trinity of planets.
Which
I think-
ironically have no standing in the actual universe.
No.
The most important things happen there, but in the bigger scale of things, they're
Yeah.
completely minute.
I think it'll end on a down note, but I think it needs to, because then the investment in Part 9 will be huge.
What do you think of Snoke? Do you want him to be?
Nope.
Do you want him to be in the shadows like Sidious, and then at the very end show his power? Or
Yeah, I prefer keeping him in the shadows. I think it's better.
Keep everyone guessing about who he
it's
is.
better when you don't know. Like,
But then is it not just repeating what he's already done?
I would like the reveal to be at the end of the next one, because everybody will be expecting it in the third one.
Yeah, you could
If you
end
do it
with
in
that.
if you end the next one with that
But
reveal,
you know-
people would be more
For that
shocked.
to work, and for people to be psyched, he has to be a character we know.
Well, you could do that very easily.
Yeah, of course
There's
you
plenty
could.
of characters.
But if
Make
you-
him
if-
Lando.
If he is just a dude, it's Max Rebo. He's the blue elephant from Return of the Jedi.
Lando is supposed to be in the next one, from
There
what I've
was
heard.
talk of it. Everyone was like, "Oh, Finn must be
I've-
related to Lando because he's the only
Yeah.
other black character in the."
What
universe."
about Mace Windu?
Yep, there you go.
I've-
They're all related.
I've just thought an amazing way to establish Snoke. What if Snoke kills Luke at the end of the next film?
that could work.
That would be fantastic.
That'd be really.
That would be
strong.
so good.
Luke and Snoke have this epic battle.
It
Yeah.
won't be epic. It will just be Vader and Obi-Wan from episode.
And that's what you
5.
could do. You could
Just be-
actually have it where Luke doesn't even get a chance. He spends the whole film training Rey, goes into this battle with Snoke, and Snoke squashes him like a bug.
Because if anything would make me fear Snoke, it would be
Yeah.
killing Luke.
So if we're talking about maybe what could happen or fan theories, maybe Snoke is after. You've heard of the Valley of the Jedi?
Yeah.
Might be after that.
It's-
it's
Valley
much,
of the Jedi is not canon anymore.
well, I know it's not canon anymore.
Yeah.
Talking about that canon thing, could it not be that Disney have said, right, let's disregard all of this, and then we'll just use the bits that work?
Exactly. That's what
You mean like how
So, like,
they've
for example, they've disregarded like Darth Plagueis and like all
Yeah.
the Timothy Zahn novels and all everything. But they could easily just say, well, that was actually pretty cool. Let's use that.
you mean like how Kylo Ren is a copy of Jason Solo? Except Jason Solo has a huge book series before him that explains exactly why he turns the way he does.
Okay, so yeah, they saw something that
Yeah.
worked.
I think that's laziness.
No, I just think it's picking the correct material.
I think it's laziness because they focus their entire marketing on nostalgia and characters you know instead of
because that's what got
expand
people in. That's what it
unique
worked.
characters,
Exactly,
brand new
so this
characters.
Part A, I think, will focus on the new characters. You had to have something that drew people back, and everyone's like, well, Han Solo's in it, and Luke Skywalker's
Well, the
gonna
issue
be
is
in it.
that they're making this entire new trilogy for a new, younger audience to introduce. But if they're just basing it all on nostalgia, the people who they're advertising it to are people who have already seen this trilogy.
So you think Chewbacca, Leia, Luke, etc. aren't going to be massive parts in the rest of it? Because I can get behind that.
I think Luke will have a fairly big part because he's clearly going to train
Yeah.
Rey. At least I would imagine so.
You'd hope he'd get more than.
He's going to become the new
I
Yoda.
think
With that story, as I was saying with the Valley of the Jedi, I'll just take it back a notch. Luke, he was training some new Jedi. Now, with the Valley of the Jedi story, it was the location was discovered by Kyle Katarn,
Yeah.
his dad, and then he got murdered. So Kyle Katarn went on this mission to try and find a place and kill the guy that killed his dad at Jarek or whatever.
Jarek, yeah.
So he was second in command at like the Jedi Training Academy with Luke, and then that all went to pot, as we know, as we kind of understand. That's why Rey's gone to find him, because everyone got killed, so Luke went awry. So maybe there's a spot for a Kyle Katarn or someone like
How would
that
they introduce him though? Because Rogue One directly disputes Kyle Katarn's story, which is that he gets the Death Star plans. I
So
love
maybe-
Kyle Katarn's
I know
one of my
he can't
favourite
recall that,
characters,
yeah.
so I'd love a character like that.
I like those games as well. That
Yeah,
process.
yeah. And I think that's another thing that they took Poe, essentially like being a stormtrooper and then deciding to be moral and go against it. That was what Kyle Katarn's story was.
Finn.
Sorry,
Yeah,
Finn, not Poe.
Yeah, because Kyle Katarn was
A stormtrooper.
affiliate with the Empire. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, if they take ideas, I don't mind, but I would prefer.
So you're not going to hold your breath on any kind of treats or plays to the fans of the expanded universe.
I strongly doubt that Plagueis is going to be in it. A, because they've done everything they possibly can to disregard the prequels and to just pretend that they don't exist, and B, because it doesn't. Sorry, what?
there's one mention in the prequels, but I agree mostly.
And because everything in Plagueis' story just doesn't fit with who Snoke is. He's a different species for a start, and he very, very clearly dies as well. Palpatine very directly kills him. So
In the extended universe.
Can you put it past Star Wars saying, "Oh, he's reformed"?
Yeah,
as some kind
exactly.
Exactly. If you're talking, like, this is a series.
But
where
why?
the
If
big
you're
bad-
gonna completely change the character, why not have a new character? If you're gonna take Plagueis and go,
Easy route.
he's completely different to Plagueis, but he's Plagueis. Why have Plagueis?
Well, it's to trick people exactly like that, because you said he's not the same race. You're like, it can't be him, but then Star Wars,
Yeah.
like, aha, he's a different race, but it is him.
This is a film that's main bad guy. His origin is that he is essentially a virgin birth. There's no reason why this amazing Dark Lord of the Sith, who learnt the laws of stopping people from dying, couldn't reform himself.
Or put himself in the body of
he
someone
just
else.
Kind of possesses somebody else.
Yeah, if they handle it correctly and explain why he isn't active at all during the original trilogy, then maybe.
A quick yes or no. Is Snoke 30 foot tall, or is that just a big hologram?
No,
Hopefully a hologram.
yeah, I did get a bit scared in the cinema.
Yeah, when I saw it, I was like, oh, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Nah, hologram, definitely.
So
Convinced.
So
That
he's-
would make the
he's-
inevitable Luke
I don't think it'll be
Snoke
any
fight
taller
even
than that. I
stranger.
think he'll have some scale because it would make sense, but no taller than that.
I'd like him to be lanky. I'd like him to be
Like
lanky.
gangly.
Yeah. I think that'd be brilliant because he's got a strength that you
Be
don't.
the size of an Ewok.
He just is.
You know, he's obviously compensating for
shaved
something with
Ewok.
such a
Yeah, that's
huge
what he is.
hologram
He's shaved Ewok. Wicket shaved himself.
and cut himself severely while shaving.
Oh,
Yeah,
It's his first time. He was
he's
learning.
shaving with a stone spear. I mean, come on.
there was a theory that he was Darth Vader as well because of the placement of the scars and things, and that doesn't make sense. After Darth Vader's reform, it doesn't make
there's the
sense.
Darth Jar Jar theory, of course. But that'd just be
I wish.
that'd be another case of people would just be sick in the cinema and walk
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Do we think there'll be a Anakin / Vader Force Ghost in the next film?
There's talk of it, but then again, was like, if you look at all the rumours that were coming out for Force Awakens, I'd say 70% of them turned out to be rubbish. At least 70%. There's already rumours out for like the plot for Episode 8 and.
There has been an official leak actually, which
What did it say?
talk about offer
Yes,
for spoilers, for spoiler purposes.
If it's the thing I read, I'm not convinced it's legit, and
Right.
I'm not I hope it's not. 'Cause it sounds
Okay.
ridiculous.
Sadly, that's all we've got time for in this session, but stay tuned for part 2 where we talk about many other Star Wars topics.
Yep. Look forward to it. It'll be fun.